This is part 2, we're recapping episode 4 of The Idol. Diane meets with the record label and they offer her World Class Sinner as her first single. She's like, we never do this, we don't pick people off the street and give them deals, this is life-changing. Diane is obviously super excited. It was interesting in the scene though because while this was happening, we kept getting flashbacks to Destiny's conversation with Chloe where she's telling her if something feels wrong, it's probably wrong, go with your gut. I wonder if that's somehow related to Diane's situation. Meanwhile, we get a little mini scene where Jocelyn is pissed off because Tedros is laughing at her, pretty much showing not all is fine and dandy between these two, so she slaps him. All this while Diane's dreams are coming true. Then Jocelyn does a Zoom call with the reporter. She checks in on her and Jocelyn tells her that she was just in a bad place dealing with grief on the music video set. The reporter says, "You're only human." Jocelyn replies by saying, "I feel like everybody keeps telling me I'm only human as if I'm not actually human." Interesting because Tedros is always telling her she's not human. The reporter asks Jocelyn if her team is concerned about the tour and she says no, but she's like, "I literally heard you calling out for your dead mom at your music video set. Are you sure?" Jocelyn just wants to move on to the next subject. And here we have the shower scene. Tedros hears Xander singing in the shower. Also, sorry I forgot to mention in the beginning of this video, but trigger warning, there are some disturbing images I'm about to talk about. Tedros tells Xander he has a great voice and asks why he doesn't sing. Xander says he tore his vocal cords, but Tedros is like, I heard you singing and you sound good, so you're either fully healed or you're lying. Tedros also says that Jocelyn told him about his torn vocal cords. Xander's like, what else did Jocelyn tell you? He says Jocelyn's mom outed Xander when he was 13 and it left him crippled. Then he quit singing due to a vocal injury. Despite all that, he still moved in with Jocelyn and her mom at the time, but Xander says he didn't know that Jocelyn's mom was the one that outed him at the time until much later. Tedros is encouraging Xander to sing. He says you should use the gift that God gave you. Xander says, why don't you ask Jocelyn how she feels about it? And Tedros is like, what does Jocelyn have to do with this? So at first when I watched this scene, it was a little confusing, so let me know your thoughts down below. But what it sounds like to me is maybe Jocelyn's mother outed him as gay when he was a teenager, and maybe Xander's parents disowned him or something like that. So Jocelyn and her mother took him in when he was 13, but things get really crazy in the next scene. Tedros is yelling throughout the house like, everybody wake the F up. He makes them all line up and starts talking about the origin of the word family, which he explains is familus, which means servant. Tedros says it's our duty to serve our family. While this is happening, Jocelyn is walking over with the shock collar that we've seen Tedros use on Isaac before. She brings it to him and he's like, thank you baby, go take a seat. Tedros tells Xander to take a step forward. Xander's like, why? But then he does. Tedros has the shock collar in his hand and tells Xander, do you know why I use this? To unlock people, to find out what's in their heart. But then Jocelyn's like, Tedros, can I talk to you for a second? Go to part 3 to find out what happens next. It's crazy.